Imagine walking into a clean, spacious, peaceful living room that only holds what you truly love and use, and is a place that you and your family feel comfortable and that you love to be. When guests come over, they comment how the space feels so cozy, welcoming, and peaceful. Today we'll talk about 6 simple steps to create a living space that supports your vision for who you want to be and who you hope that your children will become. The steps we'll cover today are: visualize your goal, define the function of your space, start with trash and easy stuff, go through one category at a time, consolidate, containerize, and confine to a home, get the trash and donations fully out of your house, and finally, find someone you love to listen to that can help you on your decluttering journey. Assalamu alaikum everybody, I'm Amanda from declutteringqueenhtx. Welcome to the channel. I'm so happy that you're here. Alhamdulillah. I'm passionate about living an intentional, simplified life through decluttering our physical spaces. Continuously decluttering helps me live with purpose and stay focused on the akhirah. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Today we're going to be talking about living rooms. Sometimes we're overly concerned with how guests will perceive our house. Of course, we want it to be welcoming, functional, beautiful. We want our guests to feel comfortable. But more important than a guest that comes over once every, so often is, how does your family feel in the space? Does your family function well in that space? Some people solve the problem by having like a formal living room and then a family room. And if that's possible, that's great. Our space tends to function as both. So you may notice that in my space, I have very comfortable couches that can function either for sitting or for putting feet up and watching a movie, relaxing, napping. It's all like very comfortable, cozy, because that's what we value. And we're the ones who spend the most time here. And guests, when they come, hey, they have a cozy place to sit. If they want to put their feet up, I'm not going to stop them. So I hope that you'll, be able to prioritize what makes you feel good, because that's really what's important. The other important thing, I'm trying to make sure that I start with the right intention. When I make this space, I'm making it because no matter what I do, I want to try to make sure that I please Allah, and I raise my kids to try to please Allah too. So it needs to be a space that can be peaceful for, the remembrance of Allah. That what happens in the space, like the remembrance of Allah, reading Quran, and that sort of thing, is much more important than actually like having a lot of physical items. Also remember, we can turn anything into ibadah by setting an intention. I am intending to make this space a peaceful, clean place that Allah loves and that invites the angels, and that my family loves to be, where my children can grow up safely in a place where the name of Allah is remembered. And that's why I'm trying to clean and maintain it. If I set that intention, then even my vacuuming and wiping and everything becomes a kind of ibadah. So I don't have to feel like I'm missing out on other things when I'm cleaning. Does that make sense? The first step is to visualize your ideal space. What do you see and feel when you walk into it? What are the people doing there? Everyone will have a different answer that suits their family and their season of life. But for me, in this season of life, I see my kids maybe sitting on the couches, reading quietly or doing their homework. Or maybe they're sitting on a plush, clean rug, peacefully playing a game or doing a kiwi crate on the weekend. I also see us gathering for occasional movie nights and Sunday naps. I see friends gathered, talking and laughing together, and I feel loved and happy, and like I'm doing a good job as a mom. Beginning with this vision in mind will help us to stay focused as we go through the decluttering process. Your ideal living room is a peaceful place that only has the things that will support you in the life you want to live. What's happening there in your living room? Are your kids quietly engaged in a project or playing a game? Are you guys having a family movie night? Maybe everyone is pausing in their joy to pray Maghrib together. Or maybe the kids are working on memorizing Quran, or there are friends or family visiting and laughing together. Visualizing what we want to happen in our space highlights what we truly value and helps us define the function of our space. This leads us to step 2. Step number 2, define the function of your space. Think about the purpose of the room that you're decluttering. Defining the function of the space makes it easier to decide what belongs and what doesn't. Remember, Every item should serve a purpose that aligns with your goals for the space. When we declutter the rest, we make space for who we want to become and the life we want to live. We also make space for each other. When we have fewer things to maintain and care for, not only do we have more physical space, but we have more mental space, time, and energy to give to the people we love. From my visualization, I determined that I want my space to feel cozy, welcoming, and peaceful. I want it to be a kid-friendly space that facilitates spending quality time together. And I want it to function as a versatile place for family and friends to gather, talk, relax, study, play, or pray. The key phrase in all of this is family and friends. The people are what is important to our home. So of course they get the priorities in the space to do the things that support our vision for our life. Now the question comes, what are the things that would facilitate this purpose of allowing people to live and do these things? What would help us to feel the feelings that we're hoping to feel when we come into our living room? For me, a throw blanket and a few throw pillows, I think would make it feel cozy and relaxing, and that's a big part of what's important to me in the living room. Things like the color green and nature are calming to me and bring me a sense of peace. A small amount of beautiful decor would help make it a space that I love to be. Keeping prayer rugs and prayer clothes in here in a basket nearby would also facilitate our family praying together, which is another thing that I value. I always want my home to be a kid-friendly space, so to make the kids feel welcomed and valued, there would be an ottoman to keep the toys nearby but out of sight. Also, I wouldn't have a coffee table blocking their open play space on the rug. It's a bonus to get rid of another flat surface. One fewer place to collect clutter. Everything else would have to pass the test of whether it supports the function or feelings I want to achieve for the space. Step 3. Start with trash and easy stuff. Now we actually get to take action. First, take your before pictures. Then, grab your black trash bag and your donation box. Now it's time to get up and get moving. We'll get ourselves up and moving by tossing out obvious trash, like tissues, wrappers, old receipts, and broken items. Then we'll move on to the easy stuff. By easy stuff, I mean obvious donations and things that are out of place. Obvious donations could be things that you haven't used in ages, like cords with electronics that are long gone. Or maybe something like a DVD player and old DVDs because now you only do streaming. Of course, if it's an old favorite and you love and you watch it, keep it. I know my Lord of the Rings extended edition will likely never leave my house. Things that are out of place include things that have a home already but need to be put away, like the clothes that go in the laundry and dirty dishes that need to go in the dishwasher. Going for trash and easy stuff is a low-risk way to get started that will get you moving and help you refamiliarize yourself with what you have so it doesn't feel so daunting anymore. It's quick, satisfying, and will build momentum and give you an immediate sense of progress. As you're looking for trash and easy stuff, notice what keeps getting left out on the surfaces. What kinds of things keep accumulating? This can give you insight as to what systems you might need to create, like maybe a system for paper clutter, or a storage ottoman for toys. Or maybe you need to create a home for some things like a basket to contain things you use for Sunday school, or another basket to contain things you use for scouting. And then you'll need to designate a place in the cabinet for those baskets. If the things that are getting left out already have a home, you may need to make it ridiculously easier to put away. I got this next idea from Cass from Clutterbug. What I mean by this is, it may be helpful to accommodate your family's natural tendency to set things down somewhere rather than fighting the current. You may be able to do this by putting a bin or a tray or some kind of container in that place to catch the items where they always tend to set them down. If your kids consistently leave their socks, hijabs, hoodies, and other articles of clothing on their living room floor, and you don't have the bandwidth to habit train them right now, you might consider putting a small laundry basket there to catch the items and then let the kids play laundry basketball. It's easier to grab and hide one small basket than it is to bend over and pick up 20 tiny articles of clothing or to keep hounding the kids to do it. If you have the bandwidth to deal with training them to change their habits, that's amazing. But this is about acknowledging your reality and deciding which battles you have the bandwidth to fight in this moment. Remember, we're going for better, not perfect. That said, there's no right or wrong way. There are no hard and fast rules about decluttering. You have permission to do what works for you and your family in your current season of life and to not feel bad about it. You deserve to have a house that functions well for you and fits your reality. It takes trial and error to figure out what's going to work. So give yourself the grace to keep trying until you find what feels good to you and actually works for your family. Step 4, go through one category at a time. Consolidate, containerize, and confine it to a home. It's during this step that we consolidate like items and make sure each category has a container and that the containers that you designate fit easily into their homes. Remember, leave breathing room to make it easy to move things around and get things out or put them away. A good rule of thumb is to let each space remain 1/2 to 2/3 full. That means there's at least 1/3 empty space for easy moving. You might wonder what should stay and what should go. I have found it super helpful to follow Dane's advice and choose the favorites first to go into the container. Then, when the container is full, you respect the limit of the container and let the rest go. You might need to go through books, board games, DVDs, gaming console cartridges, controllers, remote controls, magazines, toys, decor, and more. Only keep what you truly love and fits with ease into your space with breathing room. Someone will be so happy to find whatever you choose to donate. So if you're not using it, it's time to bless someone else with it. Now with each category consolidated, pared down, and in a container, it's time to make sure that each category of item has a home. When you're deciding the home for something, I love Dana's question of where would you look for it first? Asking this question helps us decide based on instinct so we don't have to actively remember. It helps prevent analysis paralysis as well as future forgetfulness from overthinking about finding a home and then putting it into some safe place only to forget where the safe place is. When you make the decision based on instinct, it's going to be in the first place you think of. Where things go only has to make sense to you, but certain places are not an option. For example, the floor is not storage. The function of the floor is to be clear, to keep space open for the activities that you and your family want to pursue and to make it easy for you to clean. Flat surfaces are also meant to be clear and are only an option for a very limited select number of items that are in constant use or that are providing you with beauty in the space, like a beautiful lamp, something functional like a tissue box, or maybe a centerpiece. Clear surfaces will keep the space easy to clean and feeling peaceful, open, and welcoming. If you've been with the channel from the beginning, you may have seen when our drop zone used to have a huge cubby shelf. So one of the things that I did was I looked at this place with fresh eyes and I realized that I could never keep that clean no matter what. So I ended up removing the whole cubby shelf from the space. I found homes in nearby cabinets for the items that used to be on that shelf, and it's made all the difference in the world to have it out of the space. Additionally, there was an end table that would just constantly be collecting cat hair, and all I had to do was clean it. Nobody was using it for anything, so I moved that out of the space as well. It's possible that you could reconsider the flat surfaces that are in your space because no matter what, flat surfaces will collect clutter. And once you put down one thing there, it's like it's inviting more things to come and join it. So clutter attracts clutter, unfortunately. Hopefully, if you get a couple of those things out of your space, it'll make a big difference for you too. When we let go of stuff, we make space for each other and for being together. A note on containers. If you're just organizing your things for the first time, you may wish to test out container size and organization strategy by using the containers that you have on hand, or things you can easily get like cardboard boxes or Dollar Tree bins. When you feel confident that the organization system is working for you, you can decide if you want to invest in beautiful containers. The last thing I want is for you to waste money on gorgeous, expensive containers and then end up with the wrong size or end up not using them at all. That's part of why it's so important to declutter first before you organize. You can't organize excess, and if you try, you're going to end up wasting a lot of money. Step 5, take out the trash and donations. Now it's time to take out the trash and put the donations in the car. Set a time to go drop off donations today or in the next day or two. The longer you leave them sitting around or in your car, the easier it is to procrastinate. So try to complete that loop right away. Your space will feel instantly lighter and your brain will thank you for finishing it. I wanted to know if I actually had gotten to maintenance mode in the living room, so I gave myself the 5-minute tidy test. Could I clean it up in under 5 minutes? And I think it was like 5 minutes and 30 seconds at its worst, even with all the kids' stuff everywhere. And that was great. And then it only took me about another 5 minutes to vacuum all around. When I started to go a little deeper and vacuum under the couches and that kind of thing, then I think I ended up with like 13 minutes total. But that's not terrible. I mean, that's a lot better than it used to be by a long shot. So you could try that test too. It's kind of fun. I like to set a timer. It makes cleaning more fun anyways. When it's quick to tidy and it's easy to clean, I clean more. Cleaning and decluttering the living room is very rewarding because that's one of those visual spaces that you see all the time and also that your guests will see. So when you keep it clear and clean, then you feel a sense of self-confidence. You feel like you're being a good housekeeper, a good wife, a good mother. And I know we shouldn't derive our value from the state of our house, but I do find that when my house is clean, I do feel better about myself. I feel like I'm honoring the blessings that Allah has given me by trying to take care of them. Taking care of what Allah has blessed us with is a form of gratitude. Let me just say, nobody's house stays perfect all the time. Everybody has stuff out. People live in their houses, so don't feel bad about your house. If your stuff is out, if your kids are playing, it just means that people live there, right? And the people that you want to invite into your home are the ones that are not going to judge you for that anyways. The ones that you don't mind inviting into your mess. You don't mind having them see you at your worst, right? Those are the true friends. So don't stress too much, Let it become a place that you enjoy and that you and your family love to be. If you're looking for decluttering motivation and inspiration beyond what we've covered here today in this video, I highly recommend 3 different ladies. I fondly refer to them as the voices in my head because listening to them and decluttering alongside them while listening to their videos helped me so much. And I hope that if I can't be that for you, I hope you'll find it in someone else. So my 3 favorites are Dawn from The Minimal Mom, Dana from A Slob Comes Clean, and Cass from Clutterbug. Although there are many that I like. I like a lot of them. But those are the ones that I feel like I connect with the most and that I listen to the most. And I went through the Minimal Moms mentorship group. I'm actually still in it just because I love it. It's a really positive group. And then I also joined the Take Your House Back course. I love the energy that they bring in the all-day declutters. So if you feel like you need extra support to really make amazing progress in your home, I highly recommend listening to them and considering the possibility of joining their mentorship groups. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you found value in this video. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.